independent artist. Great printmaker. She's gonna
tie it up.
That's really great. And I did want to thank you all for coming, and thank Myrtis and everything for having the show. It was interesting listening to all the other artists, and I was saying, well, that sounds like something I could say. Okay, what can I say? I'm not sure what I can say, but then when you read that was pretty good. And then someone here was from Amherst. They went to, who was it? That's you know, University of Massachusetts. I was there too.
All right.
So, but anyway, I started working, and maybe I'll just briefly say that it's very interesting because my very first teacher in art is Galerie. And when I was in New York City, she was the first person to teach me printmaking. I always say that. I always have this need to say that because I always admired Galerie so much when I was a young artist because here she was living her life as an artist. There were a couple of other artists in New York that I really looked up to. And so, but Galerie got me started, and I actually was at the Studio Museum of Harlem when she was an artist in residence a million years ago. And it was a million years ago. And, you know, and then fast forward to 1996, and Galerie finds herself here in Baltimore, close again, and we, you know, get reestablished and whatnot. And so, but I didn't know I was going to be an artist or anything like that. You know, I didn't have any inkling of it until after I graduated from college, and I was all over New York City for a job teaching. I couldn't find one. My father had told me, who taught, well, he didn't teach. He did kind of teach, but he worked in the kitchen at IS 136, Harriet Breacher Stowe Junior High School, 135th Street in Harlem. So all my life he worked there, and he would bring us, we didn't work in the summertime. I don't know how he did that because then he had another job. So I don't know how he, you know, did all of that. But anyway, my mother went to that school, and that was the school where my father worked all my life, and that's where I wound up teaching first. So I walked in the door thinking maybe I could teach English or something like that because I was minor in English lit, and I got in there and they said, "Can you teach arts and crafts?" And I said, "Yes." That people who were my colleagues and working with me held my hand and helped me through that semester because they actually were trained to teach art. And I wound up doing some things with kids that were kind of fun and stuff like that, and it was just sort of like off the top of my head, which kind of leads to how I might work anyway, a little bit of stream of consciousness. I like the idea of abstract expressionists. And then when I went to the Maryland Institute, so I have some other Maryland Institute people here, I started doing a lot of studying and all the reading, and I realized that, you know, I always loved abstraction. And one of my first mentors, Ed Clark, a good friend of mine from New York is here, you know, he just did things. And, you know, all those abstract artists, they just, you know, kind of like just put it down on the paper and all that. And I thought it was very, very interesting, and I wanted to do it too. So, but Ed always told me, because I was a printmaker first, he said, well, you know, those paintings just aren't paintings. What does he mean? How I can't get it to the painter? But I think the other day I finally figured it out. Oh, that's what he was talking about. So much, you know, art is a journey, and it takes us on such a circuitous route. We just don't know how we're going to get there, when we get started, where we're going to go. And the works in the show, as Myrtis was saying, pretty much I'm inspired by abstract geometry. Geometrical shapes. I mean, you know, the real basic things. We're, you know, one big geometric shape anyway. And the spiritual in art. And so there are also numbers in the work, and like everybody else, my mother influenced me a lot. Okay, so she played the numbers all the time. When, you know, they let me teach art for 1 year, then they made me teach math and other stuff, right? So, but I still had the bug. Went to Bob Blackbird's printmaking workshops and studied there, studied with Fisher and Ray, where I learned really the format in printmaking that I use, which is color viscosity etching. And some of my printmaking buddies in here, like when I came to Washington, quote unquote, to be an artist, I met people like Michael Platt and Percy Martin, who ran the WE printmaking workshop. And so, once again, as a printmaker, you kind of work in a collaborative sense, and you each one helps one And eventually, we kind of realized that it's the whole process is a helping hands kind of process. And so we're always helped in some way or another, either by the spirit world where someone says to us, oh, take that route, don't take this one, do this, do that. And artists are as missionaries and as we, kind of see the world maybe a little bit differently, especially if we can, as artists, everybody wants money, but that's not really what it's really all about, to me. Of course, you keep eat to live. Everybody has a price on it too, so. But, if you took money and put it way somewhere away, like way out in the woods somewhere, way far, because it's going to have an impact anyway. Commerce is going to have an impact. And so, I kind of struggle with that, but I wonder what we would make then if it was not around, because it has a strong draw. It will get you no matter what. But anyway, so, these pieces that are in the show were done, like this was done, I think, in 1998. And the most recent piece is the large piece. These is called,
Talk about, wait, hold on.
oh,
Yeah, talk about this one.
oh, this one?
This one.
Oh, that's called Global Blues, a.k.a. Big Blues Love Service. See, my mother used to play the numbers and she'd have these cheat sheets, and one was called Big Blue, Big Ray. And, so, but the nice thing about playing the numbers, and for children and everything, the whole thing, and my good buddy back then, his father he made a house of numbers one time, this might be laughing. They're about hopes and dreams. It's about